Hello everyone and welcome to release day of the highly anticipated Microsoft Flight Simulator sequel, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's go ahead and compare the different versions of the new simulator that are available and have a look at which one I would recommend from my airline pilot's perspective, with an emphasis and a focus on airline simulation. Now, let's get right into it. We're going to start with a general look at the different versions available. So there's Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 in the standard version, Deluxe, Premium Deluxe and Aviator's Edition. Now, from the perspective of this video and of this typical channel's content, of course the airliners included in each are of the greatest importance, so let's have a look. In the standard version, we get some of the aircraft that we already know, such as the Airbus A310 or the A320neo from InniBuilds, but we also get a couple of new airliners in forms of the A321LR, the A330ceo family, the Beluga XL, the 737 MAX, and a couple of other jet aircraft. So overall, there is quite a good amount of aircraft in it for us already. There's quite a lot of other aircraft that I personally find highly interesting, such as the Stemme S12G, for example, which is one of those aircraft that I grew up with in the days of my glider flying, so certainly one of the aircraft that I find hugely appealing in this version. Lots of other new aircraft in there as well, which I can only recommend you to check out instead of solely looking at the airliners, even though you might just be a standard airline simmer. Now, this is the standard version that every one of you is going to get. So let's go ahead and have a look at the first pay up package, which is going to be the Deluxe version. And this is the extras we get in the Deluxe. So, as you can see, for us airline simmers, there really isn't all that much in there. I don't see a single jet aircraft, and, well, this version is something that's probably going to be interesting for general aviation simmers, but something that for me and the style of simulations I do is probably going to be out of the box at first. However, when I'm saying that, do notice that the Beach Baron is in there and that the Cessna 172 is in there, and remember that we had those absolutely lovely black square aircraft that relied on having the base aircraft included in the simulator in order to work. So even though you might just be happy with the standard package, if you are thinking about those black square packages in the future, it may be an idea to look into this one as well. Now, the next one and the most interesting one for us airline simmers, of course, is the Premium Deluxe package. Smart marketing, Microsoft, gotta admit that. And this one includes, amongst others, the 747 supertanker based on the 400 version, as well as the Dreamlifter, which is also based on the 400. But most importantly, it includes the 787. Remember the lovely Horizon Sim 787 mod? Well, do remember that it requires the base 787-10 in order to function. So that alone may be worth paying the premium for the Premium Deluxe version of the simulator itself. Do also notice that the Longitude and the SR-22 are both aircraft that have received excellent updates over the time in Microsoft Flight Simulator, the older one, and therefore may very well be worth paying. Did I say praying? Yeah, I'm praying that we are going to get more aircraft and avionic updates as well, especially eyeing the PC-24 in here, but that's going to be a different topic. In any case, I would very much recommend you that you check this package out, even for just the Longitude and the SR-22, if you are not exactly that airline kind of flight simmer. Also quite interesting is the Globemaster, which is new in here as well, the C-17, and it will be very interesting to see which kind of level that package is on. Now, those are the 3 different base packages you can get for Microsoft Flight Simulator. There is a fourth one, however, which may be worth talking about for a few moments, and that is the Aviator Edition. Now, the Aviator Edition doesn't add any new aircraft, however, it basically is a combined package that includes all those aircraft Microsoft themselves have released in the marketplace over the time in FS 2020, and namely that includes aircraft such as the AN225, the lovely ATR series by Hans Hartmann, and others. So this is a package of which you may already own some of the aircraft if you've bought them back in FS 2020. However, if you don't, and if you've been thinking about getting some of them, then in here you can get a good deal of aircraft for a rather low price. Now, price is a very good point, so let's go ahead and have a look at it. On their website, they list these prices for the different editions. You pay roughly $70 for the standard version, which includes the base aircraft that we've talked about earlier, so those one right down here. Now, you do pay a premium of $30 on top of that for the Deluxe Edition, which includes mostly general aviation aircraft, as I've shown you a little bit earlier down here. So that's $30 just for these aircraft on top. But now comes the interesting version, and that's of course the Premium Deluxe, which comes at an additional $30 over the Deluxe Edition. So basically, Standard Edition plus $60 gets you the Premium Deluxe. And this is the package that I would probably recommend most people to get. Remember, it includes most of the interesting aircraft down here, such as the 787, the Longitude, the PC-24, which I'm very excited about, and a couple of others as well. So certainly something that is worth checking out. Now, on top of that, you can get the Aviator Edition for an additional $70 over Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So you end up paying around $130 more than for the standard version, but you get a lot more aircraft, which, in my opinion, is certainly worth it if we consider that we are getting a whole bunch of new aircraft. And if we just think back to the time of Microsoft Flight Simulator, where we had a lot of aircraft upgraded in the post-life of the simulator, which, by the way, I would not expect for the Aviators Edition's own aircraft, since those are basically the ones that Microsoft have released in the past that were done to a fairly okay standard in the most cases. In any case, I do expect such updates to come for any of the Deluxe or Premium Deluxe aircraft, in case they are not at that level at the original release of the simulator itself. Now, the prices in dollars always sound nice and sound rather cheap. Unfortunately, as Europeans, we have to pay a little premium, so let's go ahead and have a look. On Steam, we can already find the prices in euros that are going to apply to us Europeans. So we're looking at around about 80 euros for the Standard Edition, 110 for the Deluxe, 140 for the Premium Deluxe, or 220 for the Aviators Edition. Now, it may be worth pointing out that there is one more version available, which is quite an interesting one, and that is the Collector's Edition, which you can grab over at Aerosoft if you're in Europe, or which you can grab from the Microsoft Store if you're in the US. Now, on top of the base game itself, it contains a couple of collectibles, such as the AN225 model, which, by the way, is incorrectly chosen as an AN124 in the picture they have on their website. The Aerosoft Store has that picture corrected, by the way. And an also rather interesting flight bag with a couple of patches. Now, if you're into collectibles, this may be a package worth considering, as it includes the Aviators Edition plus a lot of others, which costs around 280 euros, but is something that I would probably consider interesting. However, do be aware that the Collector's Edition will deliver at a later point, so you are not going to get access to the new simulator right now, but much rather you're going to get access a little bit later. So, to conclude this video, which of the different versions of Microsoft Flight Simulator would I recommend? Well, the typical viewer of this channel is probably going to be interested in airline simulations, and since you are probably going to be interested in that 787, I would recommend to grab the Premium Deluxe Edition of the simulator. Why is that? Well, mostly because it comes with a widest variety of aircraft included, and if I look at my personal playtime of Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is somewhere around 3,000 or 4,000 hours, I guess. Haven't actually looked at it, but it's got to be a minimum at 3,000 hours over the past 4 years. And considering these playtimes, any of those prices is going to turn out fairly cheap by the hour with the later usage of the game. Now, last but not least, a lot of people have asked me, so which version am I personally going to get? And the answer to that is I'm going to get the Aviator Edition, but the idea behind this is not that I would particularly be looking for the aircraft included at it because I love those aircraft. I own the ATR, so for that reason I have the one that's very important in there to me. But as a content creator for YouTube, of course I want to be able to present you content from everything included in the game, and that means the Aviator Edition is the most logical place to go from YouTube's perspective, rather than a Simmer's perspective, from which I would recommend to get the Premium Deluxe. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. So, counting the hours now until the new simulator comes out, let me know which version you plan to get and leave it in the comments below. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I see you tomorrow on the new simulator.